Panel, and I'm so excited this morning. There's an incredible group of artists that will be talking to you. First of all, I want to thank the sponsors, Sandy Stahl. I would also like to thank the Santa Barbara Museum of Natural History, in Chrysler, who's a big sponsor this year, and if you get some chance after the panel, they're doing some test drives, and if you guys can support it, I want that big sponsor back next year. I'm thrilled. This is the 4th year we've been doing this panel, and this is probably the best group of artists we've gotten together for this panel. And I'd like to introduce them to you. Please welcome Timothy Blake, the president of the Screen Actors Guild Film Society. Kym Barrett, costume designer, Eragon. Lesley Chilcott, co-producer of Inconvenient Truth. Virginia Katz, editor, Dreamgirls. Y mi favorita, Adriana Barraza, actor, Babel. Deepa Mehta, director of Water. Cecilia Peck, director, Shut Up and Sing, Dixie Chicks. Consolata Boyle, costume designer, the Queen. And I'm very proud to introduce our moderator. She's a friend of the festival. I love this woman, Madelyn Hammond. She's the Senior VP of Sales and Marketing for Landmark Theaters and formerly 8 years with Variety. Welcome, Madelyn Hammond.
Well, I gotta tell you, what a day, what a morning. I'm so excited to be here, and mostly I'm excited to see you guys. As Roger said, yes, I've been doing this for a few years, and every year I get more and more excited. This year, check it out, guys, what a panel. It was daunting. As I was putting the questions together, I had this like feeling like, oh God, they've done so many amazing things. And then you think and ask yourself, what have I really done? You know what I decided? It doesn't matter how lucky we are today to maybe leave with a little inspiration, some knowledge that we didn't know before, maybe a trick or two about success. But the fact is that as women and men, but especially as women, every day we face the struggle. And I think there's one thing in common. There's persistence, passion, and purpose. And if you look at these women and you hear today their stories, I think you'll find that that's sort of the theme of today. And I'm just happy to be here, and I know you are too. So I am going to just go quickly through a little bit more of their credits, and then I've got a bunch of questions. But I want to do things a little bit differently today than I have in the past. I want to make this more like a workshop and less like just a straight Q&A. So if it's okay with you and you guys are into it, I'm going to ask a few, I'm going to open it up to you guys for a couple, I'm going to go back and ask some of my own. Because oftentimes I've seen these done, and the moderator asks 30 questions, and then they've got time at the end for maybe 2 from you guys. And I think this is as much for you as it is for us. Okay? Everybody cool with that? Go. I'm going to start with Timothy on the far end. First, Timothy, I'm going to talk a little bit about you, but I have to ask, and I'm sure other people are wondering too. How'd you get the name Timothy?
Crazy parents, small town in Oregon, Catholic. Didn't know it was strange until I went to the bigger town, which I grew up in a town of 542 people, so it wasn't unusual to be a Timothy. So when I went to the big city, which was about 12,000, I realized it was odd.
All right. I just had to know. I bet you guys are wondering as well. All right. As Roger said, yes, Timothy is very active with SAG, but also Timothy is an actor, a writer, a director, and the consummate businesswoman. She has a president of her own company. She does quite a lot of moderating and conversations as well, so this is what I'm doing to you must be awkward. If you want to jump up here and ask questions, feel free to join as well.
No, I think yours will be better.
Timothy, I could say one thing about Timothy. I've known her for a while, and she's so on the inside track that I'm really looking forward to asking questions about what you think, especially about this Oscar race this year. It's very different. Kym, next to Timothy, costume designer, Eragon, started in theater, also did a bunch of commercials, but most notable, and I'm sure there's many other things you're proud of, but everyone usually gets that one thing that people know them for, and Kym was the one that came up with the costume design for The Matrix, so the famous Keanu coat. We're so proud. I'm sure you get asked about that, and you're like, oh God, not the coat, but I can't help it. In fact, when I wear my old black raincoat, I always say, I'm so Matrix today, you know, it's kind of thing. Okay, Lesley, co-producer of Inconvenient Truth. Lesley started off at MTV Networks, where she did the Video Music Awards and a ton of other award shows, music specials, and tons of commercials as well, over 11 years, so no newcomer to this business. Also, Lesley is the supreme do-gooder. She's involved with the Detroit Project, which promotes hybrid and fuel-efficient cars, which of course would make sense. Virginia, you want me to call you Ginny? Okay, Ginny Katz, editor of Dreamgirls, which of course was nominated for 8 Academy Awards. Right? So Ginny's worked with Bill Condon, the director of Dreamgirls, on other films too, Kinsey, Gods and Monsters, and she's done both film, television, including both long form and series, and I'm sure you must get asked all the questions about Alias, because you've done quite a lot of work on Alias, correct? All right. Now we have Adriana Barraza, and as you know, Adriana, they're clapping before you even say anything. That's pretty good. Babel, 7 nominations, including, of course, Best Supporting Actress. Adriana is a director, an actor, an acting coach, and a network executive for Telemundo Networks. She's worked with Alejandro Gonzalez Inarritu on Babel and Morris Paris. She's done a lot of Spanish language television. She has been both in front and behind the camera numerous times that not only don't I speak Spanish, but I couldn't do justice to the body of work. So we're pleased to have you with us, Adriana. Deepa Mehta did a great film this year called Water. Oscar-nominated director, she's a writer and a producer as well. She's Water, interestingly enough, even though it's a film set in India, is the Canadian foreign language entry. I just want to point that out because you are from Toronto. Correct? Sort of. Right. You're from everywhere. That's right. Anyway, before that, she did many films, but also Earth and Fire, if these ring a bell to you. And her next project, which I'm going to ask her about later, is called the Julia Project for Focus Features, and it is the true story of Princess Julia Lee of Korea. So we know that that's going to be phenomenal. Thank you, Deepa. All right, I'm almost done with that last. Okay, Cecilia Peck. Cecilia is a producer, director, actress, and journalist. She's a contributing editor to Premiere Magazine and other magazines as well. Her producing credits include A Conversation with Gregory Peck, her dad, Once Upon a Time in the Hamptons, Justice for All about capital punishment. That must have been interesting. And currently doing a film for HBO called American Love Story, which you co-wrote with your husband. Is that right? Yeah. Also, I used to work at Turner Pictures, and I worked on your film called The Portrait. That's right. It's a great film. If you haven't seen it, you should get that and rent it. It's great, but have a box of Kleenex.